Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Sahab.
Islam.
Dr. Sahab, I'm asking this with very great respect. You know the esteem and respect I hold you in. Need not to be stated. But when you mentioned about them saying that we believe, they say when they are with you, and then when they go amongst their own people, they say that we do not believe and we are with you. Now, you said that this means that they believed in the Prophet being for the Muslims exclusively. But I think that is a very recent development. At that time, they outright said that we believe. And when they went to their own people, they said we were just joking and we were not very serious about it. Saying that they at that time said that we believe only in your Prophet, isn't it stretching the meaning of the word a bit?
Okay, I understand what you're saying. You see, you are right that the present day church, the Pope, they have given their understanding now that Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was also a prophet of God, although he was for the children of Ismail and those who were Muslims. The mention in the Quran that I've translated as them acknowledging that Prophet Muhammad was indeed God's prophet, but he was only for the children of Ismail, is actually a translation of their statement that is quoted in the Quran, which says, Alu Aman, we believe too. Now, this statement would be understood in two ways. One is that they were just deceiving. They were telling a lie. And the other was that, no, they actually were making a statement which in their own understanding had a context. The reason I feel that this could be the right understanding, obviously, I mean, I can't make a very strong claim, but the reason why it seems to me that this understanding is correct is that the Quran in the same verse goes on to mention in verse 76 that some of them told others, why on earth are you making that claim? I mean, why are you telling them? Even when, it's possible that if they would come to learn about it on the day of judgment, they are going to bring this evidence against you. So what are you doing? I mean, this discussion amongst them would not make sense if they were not acknowledging the Prophet as coming from God. But let's keep thinking about it. I do believe that there is the other possibility as well. But right now, when I look at these verses, it seems that this possibility is the right one. And the fact that a recent development is that the church has accepted the Prophet as the Prophet of God does not negate the possibility that this position was also taken by some of the Jews of Medina as well. But let's keep thinking and talking about it.
Right,
Yes.
sir. Thank you. Can I ask another question?
Yeah, please.
Or later. The second question I have is, when you were speaking of a sin overwhelming a person so much that it encompasses his entire existence, sort of. Would it be correct to think that here the meaning actually is when the sins outweigh the good deeds that a person has done? Not just that one sin, but in totality, when an account is made of his good and bad deeds, and lahama kasabat wale hamaktasabat sort of thing, that he will pay for those which he has committed. But if the good deeds that he has done outweigh his bad deeds, then he will be entitled to salvation.
Thank you for asking this question, Naushad Saab, and please keep coming in my classes. Your presence enriches the value of it. I think it's an important question, and it really is a question which enables us to do what the Quran requires us to do in, in terms of tadabbur, deep reflection. You're right, but then let me say that I was right as well. The compromise understanding is that, when somebody commits an evil, let's say he tells lies, the nature of evil is such that it doesn't stay in isolation. It influences other parts of the behavior of the individual. In other words, it's a contagious disease. So a person who would tell lies, probably in most cases would tell lies because there's something else that he has done wrong. He's committed a crime and he's hiding it. And it impacts the overall moral behavior of the individual. And, the grip that you have on your own performance, it's lost. It becomes weaker and weaker. And therefore, what you're saying is right, that it's not just one evil, that one evil is the starting point. But when it overwhelms, it takes away everything. The moral behavior, the morality of the individual, as well as the faith. There is no faith. It just is, it's completely lost. So probably one important message from this verse is that don't ever take any evil lightly, because it has the potential of destroying your other deeds as well as your faith. Whatever evils there are, and I'm sure that we're all weak people, we should continue to seek forgiveness for them. And we should seek forgiveness by mentioning those evil deeds that we have been doing, we are doing, and asking the Almighty for help. That's what my understanding is.
My question was in regards to one's ability to basically, on the day of judgment, they will be judged on one's ability that God has given them or Allah has given them to understand Islam, based on their intellect, their ability that has also been blessed by Allah. So, like in regards to the judgment that is going to be passed, I'm really like curious to find out, will that be based on one's ability that has been given, because not everybody is given the same ability?
Yeah, Samir, actually we've talked about it at length, so I did not repeat it, but I'm glad that you asked it. There are quite a few verses in the Quran, but the one that I'm very fond of mentioning, relevant to this particular point, is the one which is in Surah Al-Araf, the 7th chapter of the Quran, verse 42, wherein the Almighty mentions that those who believe and do good deeds, they are the ones who are going to enter the paradise, they'll live therein forever. But between these two parts, there's a third part inserted between the two statements, which says, we are not going to hold accountable anyone beyond his capacity. So this is exactly what you said. The capacity of an individual, I keep saying, is comprised of two components: your level of intelligence, your personality, your whatever psychological endowment, plus your environment. So these two things, these two factors put together would define what your capacity is. And given your capacity, the Almighty would expect a minimum acceptable behavior from you. This capacity is going to be decided by the Almighty in the case of all humans. And I have a feeling that all humans will have a different minimum threshold that is going to be described, declared as acceptable. And who is going to decide it? The one who knows everything, the one who's merciful, the one who is kind, the one who is wise, and the one who has created all humanity. not just Muslims or not just Jews. All Chinese, all Africans, all South Americans, all of them have been created by God. And God is going to test and find out, in the case of each of the humans that he has created, as to how much was expected from them at the minimum level in the domain of belief and good deeds. And if they had done enough, they'll succeed. If not, they'll be held accountable. Yes, Naushad Saab, it seems, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. Excellent. Naushad Saab.
Right. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask the third question, but it arises from your answer there. That means that a person with a higher degree of intellect will have a tougher time up there than a person with an average or a below average intellect. And does this relate only to the religious sphere, or whether he's been endowed with a good brain, a good mind, a good memory, analytical skills, and all that, and he's going to be asked about those? Why didn't he use it on religion? Or whether it's going to be how much ever he used it in religion, did he put in enough to understand the religion or not?
Naushad Saab, just give me a hint of the first part.
Sir, when you say that a person will be judged by his intellect.
All right, fine. Got it.
Right.
Naushad Saab, when somebody is intelligent, yes, he is going to be judged on the basis of his intelligence. But don't forget that an intelligent person has the ability to understand the truth more. So it's not going to be unfair to him. I mean, it's going to be unfair in case of a less intelligent person is expected to understand and accept what was beyond his capacity. So it really is not going to be a burden on a person who is intelligent, because if he's intelligent, then he can understand better, and he will have no problems in accepting the truth, what he knew was true. As far as the other question is concerned, you see, the religion has got to do, all religion, the entire religious message has got to do with morality, nothing else. The religion of God is actually clarifying further the moral understanding of human soul. So, the morality that we have as humans within us is God-given according to the Quran. And what the Quran is doing is that it's reminding us that the morality that we have is from Him, and therefore it really needs to be taken seriously. The Quran is telling us about the metaphysical foundations of that morality. In other words, why and where has that morality come from? The answer to the second question is, it's come from God. That is why all humans, they share the same morality. Why is this morality given? It's problematic. I mean, had there been no morality, we could have lived like animals and would have enjoyment and pleasure of beasts that beasts, enjoy. But it has been given to us because we are being tested, and therefore the life hereafter, which is going to be the result of this test. And the third thing is that there are some questions within the domain of morality which need to be clarified. And it is God's Sharia, His law, that clarifies and gives very clear, concrete shape to those moral expectations, to the verdict that our conscience is expecting. So the entire process of accountability is going to be based on morality, And if you understand the explanation of morality, the way I mentioned, it's all religion. So it's going to be based on religion, or it's going to be based on morality. It's one and the same thing. It's expressing the same reality in two different ways.
Thank you for an excellent answer, sir. And I'm always grateful for having been created as a human being. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Same here.